For today's 12 days of tutorials where I'm revisiting a lot of older palettes that you guys voted for, I'm using the most voted for ColourPop palette by far, and that is the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox. I am not surprised that this is the most voted for ColourPop palette. It is the most perfect, neutral, cool tone leaning color story, where you kind of have everything you need in this one palette. I really do like these ColourPop mega palettes that they do. And I find that this is a palette I grab for a lot when I'm doing a lot of my comparison videos, like whenever a more prestige brand launches a more cool tone palette, I'm always comparing it to this one. Palette is just such a staple, honestly. Today I wanted to do more of kind of a grungy look with this palette, so if you want to see how I got this eye look, go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, let's get started on the eye look. I already primed my eyes and I used the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, and then I set that with the translucent powder. Now to start off this kind of smokier grunge look, I want to try a technique that I've seen on TikTok, and I've never tried it myself. I'm sure it's been around for a long time, but this is where I've been seeing it. So I'm going to start by taking a black pencil liner. I'm using the Makeup Forever one in the shade Whatever Black. This has been my go-to black liner for the past couple months, and I'm going to run that in my waterline and my tight line and just kind of all around my eyeliner area, and I'm just really building up this color. Alright, so I kind of have a black smudgy mess around my eye. Now I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to close my eyes and kind of smudge around the liner. This is the part that I've never tried before. I'm trying this to kind of be the start of the grunginess, and we're definitely starting somewhere. I actually feel like that kind of ruined my under eye concealer right here. I'm not really sure if I did something wrong, but I'm going to take a pencil brush and kind of start to smudge out the black even more. This is what I would normally do instead of using my finger to do it. Okay, I don't know, that technique was kind of a fail. Don't really recommend you do that unless you've done it before. Maybe it's because I do have this entire part of my eye set with powder. That's possibly why, I don't know. Well, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and redo that black and just use my pencil brush to smudge it out. Yeah, this is working much better. So once you look like a panda, let's add some shadow. Going into the ColourPop palette, I'm going to take this shade for Granite on a fluffy packing brush. So I have that shade all over the flat side of my brush like that, and I'm going to pack that on my entire eyelid. And it is okay if it overlaps the black liner, because I'll probably go back and retouch that up towards the end of the look. So I'm packing the shade all over my lid, and then I'm going to go up into the eye socket and just kind of stamp right in there. And I brought up that shadow to my eye socket because I want this to have a nice rounded shape to it. I picked up more of that same shadow on the tip of this brush, and I'm going to run that across the entire lower lash line. Now this is going to look pretty sloppy at first, but again I am kind of going for that grungy look, but just trust the process. Alright, so you can definitely see all of the harsh edges around my eyes, so let's blend that out. I'm going to switch to a fluffy blending brush in the shade Fascinated. I picked up my shadow on the tip of the brush like that, and I'm going to use this to soften out all of these harsh edges. So I'm placing my brush directly on this harsh line, and I'm just moving my brush back and forth, doing some blending motions. And I'm doing the same thing on my lower lash line. All of those edges are starting to look a bit softer now. Now I'm going to switch to a small fluffy blending brush in the shade Trip, and I'm going to use this shade to smooth out the edges even more. So with this shade, I'm not blending right on top of the harsh line, I'm just kind of going along the edges of it. That's also why I switched to this smaller brush too, because I'm blending in smaller areas. I'm not trying to blend all over. Now let's add some shimmer to this look. I'm going to take a little bit of my NYX glitter primer and I'm going to apply that to the center of my eyelid. Then I'm going to pick up So Fine on my finger, and that's going to go right on top of the primer. love this kind of icy pink shade. It's so pretty. I'm gonna go back to that fluffy crease brush that I used earlier and just kind of pat around the edges of the shimmer. I'm also going to add that to my inner corner too while I'm here. I'm going to soften those edges with my small fluffy blending brush. Now I'm going to retouch up that black liner on my waterline and tightline. And then on my pencil brush, I'm going to take Obsidian, and I'm just smudging that shade around the black liner. And then I picked up just a tiny bit of the black shadow in the palette and I'm adding that on top of the liner. And this just kind of helps to re-intensify the smokiness of the look. Much better. All right, mascara and lashes are on, and for lashes, I'm wearing the Bright Lashes Nova. Now I picked this lash because it's a shorter lash, but it's nice and dense. So when I'm doing a smoky look like this, where I have so much darkness really close to my eye, I really like the look of this lash because it just kind of intensifies the depth of the look. I also really like this lash too because it's a lot shorter than a lot of lashes you see on the market, so it's not going to overpower my eye or like touch my eyebrow or anything. So if you like a glam lash and you have small eyes or hooded eyes, or if you wear glasses, this is a great lash for you. Here's the final close-up of the eye look. All right, I finished the rest of my makeup. Let me tell you what else is on my face. So for blush, I put on this Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush, but it's in a shade that I've kind of been scared to use. It is called Goldy Cassis, and in the pan, it looks so scary. It looks kind of like an ashy, cool-toned purpley shade, but I've been seeing Jen Phelps. I feel like I've been talking about her a lot. I just like to watch her videos, but she's cool-toned like me, and she's been talking about using more purpley toned blushes and how they just work really well for her more cool-toned skins. I've had this in my collection for about a year now. I just haven't really used this shade, but I gotta say I really like how it looks on my skin tone. And then I've still kind of been playing around with the Huda Beauty face gloss and figuring out the best way I like to use this product. It is one of those pH adjusting products. It is a very creamy product, so I just topped a little bit of this on top of that Essence blush to give me a little bit of a glow. And then to keep on the more kind of cool toned pink theme, I added my bareMinerals highlighting blush in the shade Rose Glow. This is one of my go-to kind of highlighter type products, but it's not super glowy like your typical highlighters. And then for lip liner, I'm just wearing the lip liner that is my go-to these days. It is the Makeup Forever Endless Cacao. It is the perfect cool toned lip liner. And then for my lipstick, I actually switched it up today. So I recently got this Jones Road lip kit in nude in PR, and it came with this lipstick, a lip liner, and a lip gloss. But the lipstick is what I've been loving the most. It's actually not a lipstick. It's called the Lip Tint, and the shade is called Nude Mauve. And I've been loving this color because it doesn't pull too warm on me. I did make a whole short about this lip kit, so I'll link that down below in case you want to see the other products. I believe they do sell this individually, but this shade just doesn't pull too warm. It is a really nice nude color, and I've just been loving it because I love a good nude lip. Very just like comfortable and creamy too. But I'm very happy with how this kind of grungy look turned out. I know it was so messy in the beginning. It was kind of a trust the process with the whole smudgy eyeliner. I probably won't ever do that technique again. But after a lot of layering and blending, I really like the look that came out today. I really hope that you guys are enjoying my 12 days of tutorials so far, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.